What's up, YouTube? So this is my 5-year update on my at home on the range indoor practice setup with my Real Feel golf mats and my GUROC net. Nothing in my build has changed over the 5 years other than a new venue. Obviously you can see my ceilings are quite a bit taller. These are now 14-foot ceilings, so I had to hang my net from bike hooks way up there. Like I said, nothing's changed. The mat is holding up very, very well. I'll get into that in just a minute, but I would like to thank everybody who has seen my original video and commented and let me know that this idea has sparked their ideas and they've gone out and bought the exact same setup and everything is working out wonderfully. Like I said in my old video, it was an idea that I just put together in my head and I had no idea that it would have lasted this long and been so beneficial to my game and helped a lot of other people all over the world with their games and given them an opportunity to not have to go to the range every time they wanted to practice. They could just build this indoor, outdoor. It really doesn't matter. I made the video to help as many people as I possibly could, along with myself. So, on to the longevity of the mat. You can see that it does have some stains, but real life gets in the way, and I have lots of other projects going on, so I'm constantly walking across this thing with dirty shoes, and even though there's stains on it, it feels like it's brand new. It doesn't look like it's brand new anymore, but it feels like it's brand new. It's still, excuse me, it's still in pretty much the same condition it is when I bought it. It's slightly matted down, but not like what you would see at any other range, anywhere you go. It's still like hitting off of a freshly cut fairway. I wish it had that fresh cut grass smell, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. So, in the places that I do notice it starts to get worn down, it's really where my feet have been. I'll just turn the mat around and then hit off that surface where I've been standing. And as you hit it, if you graze the top of the grass, it actually starts to fluff it back up. So Real Feel Mats has built a beautiful product here, and it has held up very well. I'd have to say that I hit probably 50,000, maybe more shots off of this thing with every club in my bag, driver through my 60-degree wedge, and it's held up beautifully. I could sit here and look at this thing all day, and I could not tell you where I've actually hit a golf ball off of. Probably because I've hit a golf ball off of pretty much every area of this thing, and it all responds exactly the same. It's just the best feeling mat I've ever hit off of. If they could make golf courses out of this thing, I would definitely invest in that. This is a beautiful mat, and I have really enjoyed my time hitting off this mat. My net setup, it's a little worse for wear, but after 50 to 60,000 shots into my net, I had to replace the first one. You can see I have two here now. Having two, it's actually helped quite a bit. The second one's not showing anywhere at all, and it probably has 10 to 20,000 shots into it. With the second one behind it, it actually dampens the impact quite a bit, so it's not showing the wear that the first one did. In the original video, I had a sheet behind it, and that helped out a bit, but just the repetition of hitting in the same spot, you're going to go through the net. The net's going to break down regardless of what happens. You can see here a couple of the braids have broken. I've had to repair a couple holes with zip ties or string or whatever I had on hand. You can see like this hole right here, it's probably big enough that if you hit a good solid pitching wedge through it, it would probably go through and put a hole in your wall. So once I got to the point where I couldn't repair these as well as original, like that one you can see is about to break again, I just went ahead and bought a new net, figuring, you know, the first one lasted me probably 3 years, so the second one ought to last me just as long, if not longer. So it's holding up very nicely. I don't have any issues with this setup. Like I said, it's exactly the same way as it was when I built it 5 years ago. A couple people have asked how I've attached the net to the PVC on the bottom. You can see right here, I just drilled a hole in the PVC and ran a zip tie through it and attached the net that way. And I did that about 7 times throughout the bottom. You can see that right there. Excuse me. Another thing I did is I added some ankle weights to the bottom of this thing just to help keep the net from moving, because if you don't have any weight on the bottom of it, it tends to scoot a little bit, especially if you're hitting your bigger clubs with a lot more velocity. Wedges and irons, it really doesn't move the net, but your driver and your hybrids or your 3-woods, whatever, just the impact of the ball moves the net quite a bit. So the weights help. They're not necessary, but that's what I did with mine. Another question I had was, how did I run the retract mechanism down the sides? Well, you can see right there, it's just kind of laced in. The retract rope is just laced into the, whatever this is called, the braiding, I guess. And I just ran it all the way up to the top. Now originally I had the string coming down through that hole right there, but I found that that didn't work all that well. So I took the string back out and I just ran it through the eyelets that I have attached to the carabiners up there, and that has worked out very well. The surface is a little bit smoother, so when I pull this string down, it just pretty much slides. I mean, it takes a little effort because my my paracord's getting a little old. It's 5 years old, so it could probably be replaced, but it's held up very well. And once this thing is retracted, it hangs about 7 feet up, so you're not walking into it when it's up. But I have had zero issues with this. This has been a very well built setup. Other than the wear on the net, nothing could be better. You know, I'm just amazed at the quality of the materials I used, even if they are from Lowe's. I know, but everything's held up very well. So I just want to say that I'm glad that my setup has helped so many of you to build your own, and it gave you a good starting point. As you can see, I took the frame off the mat just because I needed the wood for another project elsewhere. But when we moved to this new place, I put these little carpet squares down they're slightly rubber coated on the bottom. So the friction between that and then the mat and the bottom of the mat, it doesn't move at all. And it makes it a little easier for me to pick this thing up and move it if I need to use the area to work. But the original frame was just a couple 1x1s that I cut to fit, and then I put a piece of plywood just on the bottom of that, screwed it all together, and it worked out great. But it was very heavy and it was cumbersome to move around. So not having it in the frame, you know, it's 6s. It's whatever you decide that you want to do. But I'm glad that my idea has helped so many people. I appreciate all your comments. If you have more, that'd be great. I try to answer them as quick as possible. So, yeah, please comment, like it, and we'll see you around. All right, bye.